Hi, everyone. Can everybody hear me? If it is a crisp and clear sound, can somebody just say, hello, Ellie? And then I'll know that you can hear me properly and we'll kick off.
Hello, Ellie.
Hi. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the final session of the business idea creation and development session with our favorite host, EKOW MENSAH. EKOW, are you around?
Yes, I am here.
Hello, EKOW.
Hello.
Nice to hear from you again.
Same here. Good to be here. Hello, guys.
And hopefully today we'll bring a big splash to the past 3 weeks of excellent content from you. Excellent direction, excellent hand-holding, excellent pointing in the right directions. So as usual, we're going to kick off quickly and we're going to make this very, very brief. Over the past month, we've been talking to Mr. EKOW MENSAH, who is a development expert coach. I've also found out a very strong women rights advocate, and then a training facilitator who has taken us through the process of developing an idea to from what you have in your head to what you can put on paper to start off a business. Today, we're going to do a summary of all the things that he has taught us. We have put all of that in a condensed PDF. And like we said, we're doing this in conjunction with a case study of a donut business, because this can be translated and replicated by all entrepreneurs to suit their business needs. So without much ado, we're gonna go into the summary of today's, the summary of the past week's events and into the PDF or the PowerPoint. So EKOW, if you could help me, let's switch to the PowerPoint. EKOW?
Yes.
Thank
you. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I am going to hand over to our guest speaker who has been with us for the past few weeks, and he's going to take us through the summary of his activities with us for the past few weeks and how you can build a business over the things that we have learned. So EKOW, over to you.
Okay, guys, so welcome to the third episode of What's Wrong series, and our focus is on moving an idea into a product, into a business, and then hopefully scaling it up. So today is the third and final, but definitely not the last time you're going to see my cute face on this platform. And I'm hoping that it will be something that, you know, will be able to follow your progress and provide you some sustainable support. So I'll just go through the PowerPoint. Give me a minute. Let me share it. And then we will zoom right into it. Where's my PowerPoint? That's why I avoid PowerPoints. When you need them most, they're not there for you. Okay, so, but good job, Elinam. I had nothing to do with this PowerPoint, I must admit. You do a far better job than I do with PowerPoint. So good job, great job. And then you captured everything we spoke about. Can you guys see the PowerPoint, please?
I can.
Great. Okay, so again, thank you, Elinam. This is brilliant. Now I know where to go if I need PowerPoints done for me. So how to start a business, a case study of a young entrepreneur starting a donut business. So first thing to consider is the key factor, that is demand. Is there demand for what you have to offer? So this basically is how to start like conceptualization into product development, into starting a business and scaling up, like I mentioned before. And this is what we shared last week on this platform. So we're just going through, and the case study is donuts, but you could relate it to any other product or service you want to offer. So you can put your own product or service in there. so that you would follow as we go through it. So first is demand. I mean, we don't start business for ourselves, even though we start business by ourselves. Okay, so we start business mainly for other people. Always remember that you start business for other people, but you started by yourself. That's why sometimes it can get pretty lonely, but then you have to keep going. And as long as other people like what you're offering, other people are patronizing what you're offering, then you get rewarded for your effort. So remember this, if you can write it down somewhere, you don't start business for yourself. You start business for people, for other people. That's why you always need to put your ear on the ground to make sure that you know where the trends are, where the demand is, where the taste is going, and everything, so that you don't get just, surprised when demand just, ceases. So make sure there's demand for what you are producing. If people need the donuts, definitely they will patronize. Where there's no competition, there isn't enough demand. And this is a statement I made because a lot of us think that, oh, how come nobody has thought about this? How come nobody has thought about that? Please don't be deceived. People have thought about it and probably tried and failed, but it doesn't mean that when you try, you wouldn't fail. Just don't be ignorant of the fact that there may have been some people that have attempted this. All right. So it is competition that shows you that there is some sort of a demand, because in the absence of demand, there is no competition. And in the absence of no competition, or in the absence of competition, there is not enough demand. So bear that in mind. Conduct market research to identify your target audience and understand their preferences. This will help you to tailor your offerings and marketing strategies to appeal to your customers. Different customers attach different values to the same product. Identifying the customers that are willing to pay the premium you need to be successful is a critical first step. Everybody may like donuts, but not everybody may like donuts at the price that you're selling it. Not everybody may like donuts at the place that you're selling it. Not everybody may like donuts in the form that you're selling it. Even your packaging can either attract or deter people from joining, or from patronizing. So be conscious of the different types of customers, the different types of taste and preferences, and the different types of ways to attract and retain them. And if you really capture exactly what their preferences are, then the probability of success is really high. Okay, so for your donut business, there are 4 main markets: street hawkers, coffee shops and restaurants, offices and schools, and then grocery markets. So these are places that you can easily partner with, so you don't have to get into the brick and mortar business, because then that one will lock your capital, mainly because you need to actually have infrastructure, equipment, people, and all those things before you can get started. But when you partner with these people, they are already on the move. They already have the infrastructure in place. So it will be easier for them to now sell your products whilst you focus on just production. They all have different demands and will pay different premiums. So you need to identify which of their demands you can meet with what you currently have. You can also identify which of them you want to target as a goal for the business to attain. So you need to decide, who do you want to do your donuts for? How do you want to deliver it to them? And then through what means do you want your donuts delivered? And then when you figure it out, you focus on building collaborations and partnerships with these point of reference or potential partners. Now, the second thing to consider is the image you want to portray. That is the brand. Perception is everything. Perception is everything. What people perceive about your business, your donuts, is actually what will lead to sales or decline of sales. All right. So you need to be aware that what people perceive is what will determine their rate of patronage. So because of that, you need to be conscious of the branding. You need to be conscious. And branding, really, before it gets to exterior, starts with interior. The taste of the food by itself is an identity that you are building, because the moment people taste it, now they form a definition of your donuts. They form, a perception of your donuts. So don't think that branding is just the exterior, all the packaging and the colors and the logo and all those things. Before, that's secondary. Make sure that the taste is what differentiates you first before anything else. So start internally and then go externally. Internally is, make sure you're using the right products, make sure you're using the right quality, make sure the taste of your donuts is outstanding. Now, that alone will sell it. Beyond that, add your external branding, which is the things that appeal to the ears, the things that appeal to your eyes, the things that appeal to how people feel. And then when you do that properly, you get to really sell, okay? So develop a unique and memorable brand identity, way of doing things that sets you apart from competitors. This includes how to work, operational culture, how your product looks, logo and colors, how your sales team acts, looks and speaks, and then finally, how interacting with your business makes customers feel. The truth about business and even life in general is that most people act out of how they feel. In fact, relationships are built and destroyed based on how people feel. If I don't feel that this is a great platform, I will not honor any invitation they give me. All the statistics may show that, oh, they're doing the right thing, but how do I feel about them? How was my interaction with them and how did I feel at the end of it? Depending on how I felt, it would guarantee my continuity with my engagement, or it would guarantee my dissolution of our engagement. So how people feel is very, very important. So look at these factors: how to work, how your product looks, how your sales teams act, and then finally, how interacting with your business makes customers feel. That's very good. So for your donut business, the main branding items will be unique product size and shape, unique product taste and smell, specific packaging shape and design colors, specific attire or look for sales team, specific marketing material, digital and print media, specific brand identity, fast delivery, nice customer service, special gifts, polite, on-demand, designer donuts, etc. Your brand is determined by your target market. Gucci doesn't target fast fashion consumers, so their brand is about paying for limited and durable designs. A mismatch of customers to brand appeal can ruin your marketing plans. I hope you get it, but don't worry if you don't. When we start the engagements, interactions, you can ask as many questions as you want. So third to consider is the fastest route or route to your target market: logistics. How do you deliver your donuts? How do you deliver your donuts? And you need to think about it, because that can actually increase your cost of production and delivery of the donuts. And as such, your donuts may be too priced in a way that people may not want to patronize. So you have to really look at how do you get your donuts to the people that need it. So how is it like? So choose a strategic location that is easily accessible and visible to potential customers. Make sure to factor in pickup time and speed, distance to suppliers, distance to consumer goods. If you open a physical shop, consider foot traffic, parking availability, and proximity to other businesses that may attract customers to your shop. Brick and mortar businesses are quite expensive to set up and to run. Brick and mortar is like the physical space. Now we have the alternative e-commerce and delivery services. So a lot of people are doing business and they don't necessarily have to have a brick and mortar space. But if you choose to, make sure that, because you're going to incur so many other costs, you need to ensure that it is close to where your target market is. It is close to, where your most patronizing clients come from, so that you don't have to spend too much money aside setting up the brick and mortar to deliver your products and services to them. So be mindful of where it is, how people can access it, the parking, the space, and the general look and feel of the place. Be very mindful of that. So for our donut business, the main logistics concern should be the location of the production facility. It should reduce time to receive supplies and time to deliver orders. It should encourage cleanliness, proper handling and storage of raw materials, proper handling and storage of finished donuts, quick access to key customers. If you open a physical shop, consider foot traffic, design of the shop to attract customers of the street, as well as easy access for customers attracted by your marketing activities. Easy parking availability and proximity to other businesses are important to consider. And we've already said that. Make sure you set up your distribution space, or where you intend to sell your donuts, close to where your market is. So fourth thing to consider is your service or products. That is what gives you the competitive advantage. Now, competitive advantage refers to a unique strength a business has over its competitors that allows it to generate more sales or profits. It can be achieved through addressing a previously unmet customer need, efficient processes, economies of scale, or negotiating better deals with suppliers, concentrating on a specific market segment and tailoring products or services to their specific needs, developing a brand that is difficult for competitors to replicate, and providing exceptional customer service that exceeds expectations. Now, if you won't even remember all these, there are only two things you should remember. In fact, there are two things that guarantee the success of almost any business. One is the product. Two is how the experience is. Okay? Now, depending on how you make customers happy, both before they order, during their order, and after they order, that will guarantee repeat customers and referrals. Because the growth of every business comes from repeat customers and referrals. Because the cost of getting a new customer is almost 70% higher than retaining an old customer. So if you want to remember anything from all that we've said about competitive edge, let your product speak for itself and then let your customers speak for you. Are you capturing this? Let your product speak for itself and then let your customers speak for you. Because when you have these two coming together, you are sorted. When your product speaks for itself because of its quality and taste and everything, and then your customers speak for you because of your exceptional customer service experience, you are sorted. Everything else is secondary. Find our donuts. So for our donut business, the main things to consider that can differentiate your product and create advantage, the advantage you need to compete are a diverse and exciting menu of donut flavors and accompaniments. Considering dietary needs of all, example, including vegan and gluten-free options, kids options and sizes, healthy options and meal plans, partnerships with tea, drinks, and coffee shops to create unique flavors for them. If you open a physical shop, consider offering complementary products to help customers prefer shopping with you, like juices, teas, coffees, reading areas, free but limited Wi-Fi, etc. So basically, you're providing an experience that is holistic. Okay, you're providing a holistic experience for customers that makes it easy for them to get access to other things that they may need to complement the taking of your donuts, and then also providing different flavors and different, varieties to be able to meet the diversified needs of your customer segment. So basically, that's what we are saying. Now, finally, the quality, consider the quality of your processes, data collection, and then review. Data collection analysis is essential to achieving profitability and growth through process improvement. Doing this right can help you to streamline processes, identify and rectify inefficiencies and bottlenecks in current workflows. Automate processes. It will show you what processes you can consider automating. Better decision making. Analyzing data gives insight into customer behavior, market trends, and other factors that impact business performance. Implement quality control measures. Establish quality control measures to ensure consistent delivery of high quality products or services. Continuously improve. Visually presenting data can help drive innovation, increase efficiency, and reduce cost over time. Data, data, data. That is the gold of our current age. Data is even more valuable than physical gold, diamond put together. Now, when you're able to collect data from the beginning of your business throughout the operations of your business, it will help you make strategic decisions that would enhance the growth of your business, the improvement of your services and product. So for our donut business, the same important data, it is important to collect data and analyze. For our donut business, the same important data to collect and analyze will be, okay, so some important data to collect, I don't know why I'm reading it as same. For our donut business, some of the important data to collect and analyze will be cost and quantity of equipment, cost of utilities, water, power, and gas, cost of rent, cost of quantity of utensils, cost and quantity of packaging materials, cost and quantity of raw materials, cost and quantity of staff, utilization of inputs to outputs, how many units of input is required to make each stock item, time to prepare each stock item, data on customers, location, age, gender, profession, preferences, etc., time to deliver from suppliers to your customers, and then cost of marketing. All these things are important. So I know all this is a lot. We know, relax. You aren't supposed to do them all at once, okay? So, I mean, business is a process. Business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time. And there's always one thing I say. If your current state is not an embarrassment to your past, it means you haven't improved enough. I'll say it again. If your current state in life, okay, if your past is not an embarrassment in comparison to your current state, then you have not improved enough. I repeat, if your past is not an embarrassment to your current state, then it means that you haven't improved enough. What that means is that where you start, after you've made considerable progress, when you go back to review where you started from, how you started, all the mistakes you used to make, you'll be surprised at how improved you have become. And that past state would be so surprising and sometimes even embarrassing to you because you have progressed so much. That is basically the essence of continuous improvement. The more you improve, the easier it is for you to be able to get some of these things done and done efficiently. So know the steps and then ensure that you are going over them consistently and consistently improving. Don't be overwhelmed. The first step is to make and sell your first donuts. The rest comes as you grow. I like that. Okay. It is the first donuts that matter, the first set of donuts that matter. As long as that goes, now you'll be able to repeat, improve, repeat, improve, repeat, improve, before you realize now your systems and structures are in place and you are doing more than you ever thought you could. So now we're talking about financing. That's where we are. So stay tuned and we would hit the ground running very soon. So thank you very much for staying with us. And then let's make this a very effective time together. So I'm done.
Thank you, EKOW. Thank you. So, oh, I see there's something in the chat. Oh, it's just hello, Ellie. Okay. So please, if you've been watching and listening to EKOW and you have any questions, this is the time to drop your questions. I am excited. Oh, I can see Richmond is already giving you claps, EKOW. Hey, take your accolades, take your accolades. So Richmond, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please raise your hands and the moderators will give you a chance to ask your questions direct to EKOW, especially if you've been following us for the past 3 weeks and you now want to ask all the questions you want to ask. Go ahead. The floor is open. Any hands raised? It's two things. He has successfully convinced you to start a donut business, or he has completely confused you and you are determined to not be an entrepreneur. So which one is it? So we have some questions. Any questions, Kofi? Can you see?
No, I don't see any questions yet.
Okay. Okay, apart from the hand clap, no questions. Our participants, Jedediah, Margaret, Miss Mwajani, Impin Mwajani, Nelson, O Asamoah, Richard, Doku, and Veronica. Anybody? If you have Esijo, I see Esijo. If anybody who has any questions, you can drop it. If you don't have any questions, you can also drop some comments on the whole process from the beginning till now, when we started with the first Instagram live session up till today. If you have any comments on that also, it would be great. Okay, we have a question from Margaret. Margaret says, nice presentation by EKOW. What if you give services like training? What if you give services like training? This is my first time joining. Oh, hello, Margaret. This is your first time and you got the whole scoop. Wow. Wow, you are a lucky, lucky lady. Okay. So what if you give services like training? Training for what, Margaret? If you can elaborate for me, I'll be very grateful. Nelson, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Margaret, what kind of training are you speaking about, please? Fashion training. Okay, so EKOW, she's talking about training for entrepreneurs. So for instance, fashion training for so Margaret, you have a fashion business and you want training on how to grow that fashion business. Is that what's happening? Okay, yes, please. So EKOW, she's asking if you give training to entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses.
Okay, so well, maybe we need a bit of clarity. Maybe she's asking, maybe if she's not in the donut business and she's in the fashion training business, how does she start and grow it? But of course, if she's asking whether we train, you know that, I mean, People Building Institute, we train everybody. As long as we know, as long as we know your your training needs, I'm sure we could put a curriculum together for you. So that shouldn't be a problem for PBI. But if you are in the fashion training business and you want to know how you can start from an idea to, getting into a business and growing it, it won't be so different. You still start from who wants this. Okay. And you see, the good thing about social media is that as long as you are able to generate engaging questions and activities and all that, it's easier for people to give you feedback. You can actually do market research right here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anyway. Just put the questions there. And then people like to talk. Fortunately for us, we are in an environment where people love to talk. So then as long as you ask the right questions, you would definitely get the right answer. So do a bit of a market research and then figure out, okay, how many, do people really like, to learn fashion? What type of fashion would they like to learn? Is it sewing for babies, sewing for children, sewing for women, sewing for men? Do a bit of a poll or something, get some figures in so that it gives you a sense. And I think that sometimes you're also limited by what your own skill set is. But the truth about it is that depending on what the demand is, you can always find instructors who can come in to support. But the advice is, if you're going to start a business, always start with something that you can easily handle if everybody leaves you tomorrow. Because sometimes when you start with something that you don't know how to do, and then people realize you don't know how to do it, and maybe because of one or two challenges, they choose to leave rather than stay, then your business has collapsed. So examine what your own skill sets are and what you can easily start with. So if yours is sewing for women, maybe casual clothes for women, you could literally do a survey around that. Okay, so what kind of casual clothes do you want? What colors, what trends, what brands appeal to you most? Just do some market research, mainly online, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and then get a sense of what people's preferences are. And then you can do a trial version where you try to get your first students. Sometimes you can even do like a one-day introduction to fashion training or being a fashion designer. Put contents that are relevant to people out there. It's not always that when you start a business, you have to charge. You always have to put out something that attracts people to what you're doing. And then out of that, if they want more, then you can give them packages, you can give them, the things that you're teaching them on. So do like a one-day introduction to being a fashion designer or learning how to sew. And then see the caliber of people that attend that one day. And it could even be on online, on Zoom. You do like a virtual demonstration of how to, sketch, how to cut, something very simple, introductory, because the whole training will be the comprehensive part of all the things you've introduced them to. So then you will be able to test their interest. And then when you do that and you get people that are interested in the free version, then after the free version, you introduce them to maybe a short course that is like 4 weeks or 6 weeks. You get in, and then you can do the 3 months. Now you can do the 6 months. You can do the 1 year. Progress steadily. Don't put all your efforts in like 1 year fashion design class when nobody knows you. You know, you are not there yet. You are not the Joyce Abebio yet. So unless you've already built a fashion design brand that is recognizable, then that one you can leverage on the recognition of that brand to be able to get into full-time training, because now your customers of your fashion brand will now probably be the ones that now want to learn how to sew. But if you are fresh out of school or you are just starting and you want to gain some recognition, start by using what we call the bait strategy. Put a bait there, let people get the bait, and then you can now, you know, build your modules slow but surely, expanding it with time, and then giving them more and more offers. And as you keep doing that, you could look at some certification that you can probably partner with, because some people like certificates, you know. So then if you really want to run like a diploma or something, you can get it registered with TVET or COTVET or some of these skills training certification organizations, so that you can have those certifications, and now you can run like a proper institution. But the most important thing is that it goes from a process of knowing to experimentation, and now to being very sure and expanding your operations. Again, it's important to know who is interested. It's important to deliver, to exceed their expectations, and it's important to grow steadily so that you don't overwhelm yourself, you don't spend too much, and you don't get disappointed. So that's what I have for you.
Thank you very much, EKOW. Thank you so much. Margaret, you've got a free training from PBI in a little under 7 minutes. Thank you so much, EKOW. Whilst you were speaking, Miss Penny Mwajane. If I didn't get this right, I'll be so sad. Yes. Impine Mwajane.
Yes. Good.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mpine Mwajane says, this is very insightful and relatable to what actually goes down in business. He gave a simplified version of what paints a clear picture of the entire process. Thank you, Ms. Mwajane. EKOW, there you go again with your fans. I am Jedediah says, thanks, EKOW. Good presentation. Yes, he did really well on that. And then Richmond. Oh, yes, Richmond, we have a PBI platform WhatsApp, and I'm sure Kofi will drop the WhatsApp number in the group so that anybody that wants to connect with PBI on WhatsApp will be able to do that. So Kofi, thank you, Richmond, thank you so much. And we're grateful that you love the program and you joined the group. Richmond again says, what if you are in part-time business like copywriting and any writing service? With the advent of AI and ChatGPT, how can I rebrand my business idea in order to stay relevant? EKOW?
Okay, so I mean, AI and all these artificial intelligence tools are supposed to help us to do two main things: to be effective and to be efficient. Okay, don't be scared about it. It's like having your own personal assistant on call 24/7. Okay, so what happens is that now when you're able to be efficient, it means you're able to use available resources and time to produce outstanding results. When you're able to be effective, it means that you're able to deliver quickly and on time. That is what AI tools are supposed to do. Something that would have taken you a day to do, you can literally do it in an hour. So if you're in the copyright business, you see, one thing I always tell people, especially even when it comes to ChatGPT, is that if you're not able to ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. So you need to have certain skills to even be able to use these AI tools. Now, in learning how to really take full advantage of these AI tools, this is when you can actually even experiment on getting new prospects that can turn into your clients. This is the time you can literally do free copywriting for people's websites. You can do for people's books. You can do for people's, like, for instance, what Elinam did for me. You know, you literally do the research with AI, put it together into a presentation, and then you would realize that now you've created a new market for yourself. where people give you content, you can now make it very presentable and then tailor make it to suit them. That is another source of income. Okay, so AI tools are not necessarily coming to replace what we originally do because they wouldn't give you exactly what you need. They're actually for enhancing your thought process and giving you ideas on how to improve the things you do rather than it replacing the things you do. If anybody uses any of these AI tools, it's just giving you pictorial and visual and easy to use ideas on how to enrich the result of what you're providing or producing for your client. So regardless of whatever you're doing, even with this fashion business we just talked about, if you just put a question in AI, ChatGPT, give me ideas on how to start a fashion training institute, they will give you quite a, you can even say expand. They will give you, they'll keep giving until there's no other, answers to give. But the truth is, whatever it's giving is only a platform that has been set. How you use the platform determines how the show is going to go and the applause you're going to get. The platform itself is not enough. Nobody goes to a show to watch a platform, even though depending on how the platform is set, it adds to the attractiveness of the show. But the truth really is that platforms are supposed to what? Enhance the performance of the artist. You could have the most beautiful platform, but then when the artist flops, he flops. All right. So it's just like you, a copywriter, when you flop, you flop. But AI tools are supposed to make your work easier, are supposed to make you deliver faster, and they are supposed to actually make you have access to more customers and even reduce your cost. Because now you're not going to spend 2 days, 3 days to do the same thing that you could spend 30 minutes to do. So you reduce your cost, you beat your competition, and then you provide stellar services to your customers. It also allows you to now focus on building customer relationship that will lead to loyalty and then will produce referrals. Because now you don't spend too much time doing the work. You actually spend too much time building relationship. Because one thing AI can never do is that personal touch to building relationships with people. And that's why one of the jobs that I believe will never be obsolete is sales. Not even marketing. Marketing can be automated, but sales, and that's unfortunately what most of you young people are running away from. If you're listening to me today, get into sales because AI will give you the tools, but will never sell for you.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say. Spend time building relationships, spend time providing very cost-effective services, and then spend time learning how to leverage on these AI tools to improve your performance and exceed the expectations of your clients.
Thank you so much. Oh, EKOW. I'm even scared. If I ask any more questions, you will give us too much. You have to keep some so that people will pay.
No, I have more.
How can I, Nelson says, how can I use social media to promote my business? It's a big question, Nelson. You need to pay for the answer.
You should go straight to the first session where I really spoke about social media. And also there's a workshop I did with a company called Nalo. But the truth is, I'll just summarize since my boss says I shouldn't say too much. The truth about social media is that it is only a digitized version of our lives. Whatever used to happen before social media came is still what is happening on social media. The only thing is that the rate at which it happens is what makes it different and what gives us an advantage to leverage on to be able to get the things that we want from social media. But it is just a reflection of who we are. That's why when you post your business, you don't get as many engagements as you would if you post a joke. It's the same thing about life. Business conferences don't get as many people as they would when you compare them to a comedy or a play or something like that. It's normal. People don't like to be sold to, but people love to be engaged. So then if you want to leverage on social media to sell, find out creative ways of engaging people on the things that you do, but from the perspective of what they want to talk about. And that is actually one of the smartest things you can do if you want to leverage on social media. How do you figure out ways of engaging people without necessarily having to sell to them, but still keeping their minds focused on what you do? And there are so many examples. All right.
Yeah.
Because for instance, if you are a fashion designer, you can choose to be putting your clothes every time, sell, 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 sell. You would attract certain kinds of people, but you can also come on social media and then ask, okay, what is the challenge you have in getting clothes that fit when you are maybe plus size? It's just an engagement. And what it would also do for you is that now all the plus size customers that you were looking for will come and comment. And then you engage them like human beings. Some of you want to use social media to sell, but you don't even respond to messages. So I'm wondering how you are really selling. It's like somebody coming to your office, asking you a question, and you leave them hanging. And trust me, people are very personal and petty about social media. You have no idea, but the only challenge is that because you will never find out, they just move along and they don't mind you. But trust me when I tell you that when people ask questions on your page, when people make comments, they expect for you to react to those comments. And that's how you really, because you see, at the end of the day, these are human beings. Social media is not run by robots. Yes, you may have some platforms that have been automated and all, but you will know the difference. So don't assume that just because it's a digitalized version or this is internet, you will just ignore people. The same way you treat somebody if they enter your office is the same way you treat somebody when they enter your page, when they enter your profile or whatever. But form like the capacity or the have ways of engaging people beyond selling. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't sell. That's why there are albums that you can do. That's why there are things that you can pin. That's why there are ways that you go about it for people. And even the way you write your bio, the way you put your pictures, the way you people will know. But at the end of the day, if you really want to attract a lot of people, make it a point to use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, engage people based on the things that you sell. So as they're asking questions, now you can respond to them both in the comments and in the DM. And then 20% of the time, sell. Sell because when we go through your page, we should still see that you sell and then you do some of the best clothes in Ghana. But at the end of the day, when you engage people, you're able to attract a lot of people. And the third one is, if you just want to sell and you don't have time for all this engagement, just spend money to boost your page, because that's the only way a lot of people will see. And like, you know, if your hair is burning and somebody is selling a fire extinguisher, you hardly even negotiate. So if your business is something that some people need, as long as they see your boosted page, they will definitely contact and then they will definitely patronize. So just treat people on social media as you treat them in real life. And eventually when you get their attention, you get their patronage, and then you get their loyalty and you get their referrals. Then you'll be good to go. I hope it was a short version.
It was a fantastic version. I still have to charge for this version. Even the short one, I have to charge. Imagine. You know, Nelson has quoted your call. He says, you want to sell on social media, but you don't respond to messages.
You don't.
This one, dear. This one, dear. It is hitting.
It's just a chuana.
Missy. Okay. Some of us are going to hire social media managers.
I know, right?
We have to respond. We have to respond to messages. So we have no more questions in the chat box at the moment. If you don't have any more questions, I would like for us to go to EKOW again. I'm going to close the chat box. I'm going to go to EKOW again. Sorry if I've been doing this the whole time because my phone is turned this way. I'd like to go to EKOW again so he can take us through his final thoughts on the business idea and development session of PBI. What these past 3 weeks have been like, what the experience has been like, and what you as a speaker would like to see in coming sessions.
Okay, so thank you so much. I think it's been, an insightful 3 series session for me. And I think that each session has been different in its own way. And it has brought to light how much experience actually speaks and sets you apart, because all the sessions were done out of what I already know, what I've already done, and the experience I have had. I'm not very good with PowerPoints. A lot of the time when I speak, people are asking me to share what I looked on to speak, but Charlie, experience would always make you different and would always give you value in the marketplace. And that's why we always tell people, just start. You see, sometimes the things you start and you fail at were not necessarily things that you were supposed to succeed at, but things that you were supposed to learn from. So that when it gets to the point where now you've invested enough and you need to succeed, everything you've actually experienced will now come and then would be helpful to you to prevent you from now failing and then really going down the drain. Okay, so just start. Whatever you want to start. See, the right time to do anything is now, because even when it fails because the time was bad, eventually you would have built and iterated so much that by the time is right, now when everybody is now coming to experiment, you have perfected your craft and then you would be, just sprinting. And that's how people, it feels like some people are overnight success, but there is no overnight success. In fact, some overnight success have lasted for 20 years. And they've iterated so much that it is now that you are seeing the fruits of their labor. Yes. Okay, when you plant a seed, it is not attractive because it's covered by dust. Now, when the seed starts to germinate, it's looking good because it's fresh and everything. But at that point, it's so fragile that any sudden movement can just mess it up. All right. But when you keep nurturing it and it's gaining strength, it's gaining momentum, it's gaining all the things that you need to ensure that even without your attention, the tree can stand. That's when you know that you don't have to apply so much as you did when you were starting. But at the point of growth of the tree, you have still not gotten the fruits that would be the result or the price of your hard work. It is not enough to just plant a tree if you're not looking for the trunk as timber. The essence of planting a tree is to be able to get the seeds, because continuity is to be able to get the fruits, because continuity is in the seeds. So if you plant a tree and then it doesn't grow to the point of fruits, you haven't guaranteed continuity yet. So whatever you want to do, see it as a seed. The beginning might be messy, it might be dirty. You can't say that, oh, you don't want your fruits to be looking bad, to be dirty. So you will wrap your fruits, you will wrap your seeds in a nylon or a rubber bag so that you can keep your seeds being very neat. And then now that you've wrapped your seeds and put it in the soil, you expect it to grow. That's not how it works. You need to dirty yourself. You need to get to the point where you put in the work, because it is only the work that will provide the results that you're looking for. So go through the process, learn, because you're not the first to plant a tree. You're not the first to do a business. You're not the first to turn an idea into a business. Sometimes it's even good that when you're young, you do apprenticeship, you do internships, you do volunteering, and you work for some time in industries of interest, so that you can learn how things are done. So that when you start, it is not now that you're coming to experiment. Experimentation costs money. And that's why Africa is where it is, because we wait for people to experiment who have the money. And then when it's all fully blown, we try to replicate. But unfortunately, it's not done that way. Experimentation costs money. So if you don't have money, especially for those that keep saying, I don't have money to start business, I don't have money to start business. Listen, your role in starting a business is not having the money. Your role in starting a business is having the know-how. Because if you have the know-how, it already distinguishes you from everybody else that is trying to get the know-how.
That's true.
Now, when you finish the process of knowing what to do, the next thing is that knowing who to serve it to. So two things that I always try to simplify things for people, because a lot of the time we now consultants, trainers, and coaches also complicate things so that you come back to us. But for me, I like to simplify things. There are only two things you need when you're thinking about business and business success. You need the product that people need, and then you need people who need the product. Have I confused you? There are only two things: the product that people need or the service that people need, and the people who need it. It is when products and people come together, and then you add everything else, because everything else just distinguishes you, because everybody is trying to sell to someone. So what makes you different? And that is the everything else, which is the branding, which is the packaging, which is the positioning, which is the office and all that. But those are not the primary essential things. Because when you find something that people need, trust me, your biggest challenge will not be the money to do it. And that's why I tell a lot of people who come to me and say, EKOW, I've done this, and then now I'm looking for money to expand and all that. You haven't done it right. And if you've really have gotten to a point where you've sown a seed that is germinating, but you don't have the money to turn that seedling into a tree, go find somebody that your seedling can be useful to. And for all you know, that could be somebody that has a field. Now I'm using a lot of let me not confuse people before somebody will join and say, are you talking about farming? No. All I'm saying is that, listen, if you're excited about your idea, it's not about you. If other people are not excited about your idea, and if you don't have enough people that are excited enough to want to pay for that idea, you haven't reached yet. Being excited about your idea is not enough. And if you really have the mind to grow this idea into a business, your excitement should be at the point of patronage. Be excited when people are buying and giving you feedback to improve. Don't be excited at a point where you have an idea you think is so extraordinary, everybody will want it. Don't deceive yourself. You are probably only a guinea pig for people that have money. They are watching you. They are waiting. They are patronizing. Some of them are buying all the things you are selling, and you think that you are getting markets. No, it's one person that is buying all those things and re-engineering it, reverse engineering it to be able to produce it in a way that is faster, is cheaper, and it can easily reach people that need it. And before you realize, you're out of business. So, guys, all this ideation, problem solving, and iteration and all those things are nice. They are all beautiful. But when people don't need what you're doing, there's no way you can build a business. When people are not excited about what you're doing, there's no way. And I'm not talking about lip service. The evidence of excitement is not in people being happy. Today, I'm just throwing too much. Elena, I'll reduce it so that we can do a proper masterclass. But when it comes to business, it is so different from when it comes to life. You know, people tell you that, like, how are you? I'm fine. But they are not fine because they've said it so many times that that's the first thing that comes to mind. But when it comes to business, we've said it in the first. So go back and check from the PBI, Instagram to all that. Go back and check because business is about numbers and nothing else. If you talk too much in business, you're only making excuses for non-performance. You don't talk too much when you have the numbers to show. So the evidence of people's excitement about your business is in the evidence of their patronage, money. So everybody tells you, well, this is good, this is amazing, this is great, but nobody is buying, they don't have a business. So all we are saying is that ideas evolve, ideas change, ideas transform. So the first idea you have might not even be the best idea you may have. But until you get to the market where you can figure out who needs it and who can demonstrate their excitement through the patronage of their money, value exchange, then you don't have evidence of excitement yet. People, because of our cultural setting, it is easy for us to praise people. We praise people because, you see, it is well with your soul. God is going to provide. God has provided. Like, we are very, very faith-talking people, but we are not faith-demonstrating people. So nobody will buy when they don't believe in what you're doing, unless they are in love with you, they are related to you, or they want to deceive you. Your enemies can patronize, making you feel that this is good. And then you invest all your savings and then you realize that nobody else is buying. So if somebody is in love with you and buys, be very cautious. They may not be buying because the product is good. They may be buying because, yeah, you know, the night is young.
Yeah.
When somebody is related to you and they are buying, don't be deceived. They may not like what you're doing. They just love you as a brother, as a son, as a, you know, a sister, and they just want to support your dream. When an enemy buys from you, be cautious because they may just try to replicate what you're doing. But when people buy because they love what you're doing, that is the evidence of excitement. And then it is at that point that you leverage on what you've just done and how you can build on it. from 1 client to 10 clients to 100 clients to 1,000 clients to 2,000 clients, then you grow your business. So please don't be deceived when you're overly excited about your idea. Get to the market with it in whatever form you think is ready, because it's your clients that will give you the feedback to constantly improve. If you are the same person that keeps improving your products, then there's something wrong with that product. But if clients keep giving you feedback, reviews, that would guide your improvement of that product, then you know that you are listening to the client, and as a result, you are providing something that they want. And eventually, when they trust you enough, that's when your own innovation is patronized.
Yes.
Are you getting the difference? So this is supposed to be something that you don't listen to once. Keep listening to it, keep learning from it, but most importantly, just go to the market with your idea. Go to the market with your product. Don't pursue perfection, because the moment you finish the prototype, it is already obsolete.
Yeah.
Get it to the market and let them tell you how to improve it. But if you spend too much time, resources, and energy and prayers on something that has never been tested by the evidence of people's patronage, then you don't have a business yet. Don't get it twisted, okay? Business is all about numbers. It's not about how you feel. It's not about how excited you are. It's mostly about the demonstration of client excitement through the patronage and the buying of your product or your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, am I sad? No, I'm not. Because if I don't get this man out of here, he will drop all my gems. You understand?
we can't do masterclass.
I'm telling you. So you have to stay tuned to PBI. As you can see, we've gone from the expert conversations to now these What is Wrong series, where we get intimate with our speakers so we can get these nuggets. You can't get this in the expert conversation. So stay tuned. We have another exciting expert next week in another stage of building the business, because when you start from idea creation, you have to go somewhere else, and you will find out. Make sure you're following our Facebook and Instagram pages, PBI Global, People Building Institute, and make sure that you are following myself, because I'm always giving you the juice. But in the meantime, if you're not following EKOW, I don't know what you're doing in this world. I really don't know what you're doing in this world if you're not following EKOW, because first of all, you come and post some smiling picture, and then your whole day. So make sure you're following EKOW MENSAH. And also make sure you go to ekowmensah.com, www.ekowmensah.com, to get all these nuggets and more. I'm sure you could get personal conversations with him, book sessions, invite him for your trainings, and then invite him for your management sessions too. They're very, very important. These kind of things is what your manager should be thinking about so that they can make your business better. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been PBI. And as usual, I've been Ellie now. And my boss, Mr. Kofi Doche, is in the background doing 1-2-1-2. Kofi, do you want to join in and say a few words, or should I round it off and we can go on our way? Where's my boss?
Yeah, I think we just have to round it off and go. I'm okay. I'm lost for words. There is nothing more for me to say here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a good 3 weeks with EKOW MENSAH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Kofi. Thank you.
All
then
right.
To round it up, I'll leave you with my favorite quote from today's session. I always have a favorite quote from a session with EKOW, and today's own is, find a product that people need and find the people that need that product. That is the favorite quote from today. If you want to start a business, if you want to, if you have money, you're like, everybody's an entrepreneur nowadays, I want to start a business. Remember this quote from EKOW. Find a product that people need and find the people that need that product. And just the bonus, business is about numbers. Don't talk too much. Business is about numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been lovely having you. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.
Good night. Good night, guys. Good night.